Major funding for When Ends Don't Meet has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting through the Eastern Educational Network, and by the annual support of viewers like you. It can get pretty frustrating, sitting down each month paying the bills. Sometimes you wonder where all the money goes. Well, after you pay the mortgage, car payment, insurance, groceries, credit card bills, utilities, hardly seems like there's anything left over. Well, for many families, sitting down and writing the bills is an enormous task. Often tough choices have to be made. Do you pay the electric bill, or do you save that money for the week's groceries? Maybe you've had to play juggle the bills once, maybe even twice. For some Americans, they play this very stressful game every month as they figure out what to do when ends don't meet.
You want regular sugar?
Steve and Lori are used to getting up early. He usually has his breakfast while she works on getting their kids up.
Blankie, I hear. What's your blankie? Okay, come on, I'll take your blankie.
Living in central New York, Steve and Lori are among the millions of Americans classified as the working poor. These are people who, despite having jobs, live near or even below the poverty level. Steve makes around $8 an hour as a maintenance person for a local church. Lori is responsible for taking care of their 4 children. The family lives in a modest house provided by the church Steve works for. Together, the couple has been facing tough times for a number of years.
Oh, I've worked building trailers, utility trailers, concession trailers, punch press operator setup, foreman at Dietz, or assistant foreman at Dietz, heavy punch press. I've painted, house remodeling, just about everything you could think of I've done in my lifetime. I'm not one, if you get laid off, I'm not one to stay out of work too long. I'll take whatever comes along. My average paycheck is right around $230 a week. You know, and they give me the house for doing work there too. So it's nothing that I'm ever going to get rich at, but it's still close to what I'm used to making. But last year was a shocking year for us. I made $10,000 less than I normally make, and we still had just as much, if not more, than I did the year that I made $10,000 more.
Well, he has VA. He can go to VA for his medical care, and my kids are all on Medicaid, but he makes too much money for me to qualify for Medicaid.
So $230 a week is too much money
For one person.
So, do you have health insurance?
No.
Does that worry you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people don't realize all the benefits that they do have. They just kind of, I need this, I need that, and it's not really a need. And I get upset when I can't give my kids what they want. But then again, it's what they want, not what they need. And when my kids come home and say, well, I don't fit in with the group because I can't have these kind of clothes or those kind of clothes, I say, I do what I can do, and then I try to get what they want. Like, I can't do any more than what I do, I'd have to work 2 or 3 different jobs. I can't do that, so. I know people that try it, and the family usually ends up suffering in the long run. But we struggle a lot. And, like I said, our needs and wants, there's a lot of times we want to do something, but there's just no financial way of doing it. We splurge and we buy a zoo pass. We spend lots of times at the zoo. Lots of time at the zoo.
They're very much motivated. They're very much oriented towards getting better, towards being something more than they are right now. So that's helpful, because we can only do just so much, and people need to be motivated to kind of take the ball and run with it.
The church was going to junk this, so I said, don't junk it, give it to me, I'll fix it. So far we've been lucky. I've got $200 into it. It runs great. The tank though. Yes.
What did you do before you had the van?
We had another one and the engine seized up on it. It died. We've always had pickup trucks or vans. Cars never seem to last too long unless we buy the $300-400 junkers usually, and if they last a year or two, we're happy.
Most people want to work. The misconception and the myth is that people don't want to work, but we find that most people do want to work. People do not want to be handed things. They want to work, and that is being proved every day.
You gonna stay outside and play?
Yes.
Okay, then you need to go tell Laura you're staying outside.
Mommy.
Be good. Tell Laura you're staying outside.
Raising 2 daughters alone, Peggy had to make the quick adjustment to being a single mom after she and her husband split up. Right now, she works for Ames department stores, which pay her $5.35 an hour. But since she only works there between 20 and 30 hours a week, the company doesn't provide health insurance, so she and her daughters receive Medicaid. Peggy also receives assistance from HUD, WIC, and food stamps.
I graduated from high school and I had a position for 10 years, and I gave that up and things fell through, and it left me with no husband, a newborn, and pregnant, and I had to resort to social services. It was quite the adjustment to go from $1,000 a month to like $150 a month cash, and trying to feed and clothe your kids, and Christmas and birthdays, and there wasn't much extra.
Women whose husbands leave them or who have children and there's no father in the house, they have a very difficult time in that they not only have to be responsible for their children, but they have to try to make it in the labor market.
Well, we occasionally give food stamps. That gets monitored on a 3-month basis according to my income. And we have the Medicaid, and I also have Section 8, which is HUD, which helps pay for the rent.
To help pay the bills each month, Peggy has another job with the county, helping women learn to breastfeed. However, because the work is so inconsistent, many times throughout the year, it's an economic roller coaster for Peggy.
My food stamps differ every 3 months. I have to send in pay stubs. So if the prior 3 months I made more money than the next 3 months, it hurts as far as food stamps, because my food stamps will be brought down from the previous 3 months. So I have to make up with that with cash. You're a mother, you're an adult, you're supposed to be setting an example for your children, and when you can't do what's expected of you, it's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. And then if you can't pay a bill, If you want to take your children to the store for an ice cream, it makes you feel guilty because that money should be going on a bill. So it gets very frustrating at times. It gets kind of hard. The kids want. But I have raised my kids where if they ask me for something, if I tell them I really can't afford it right now, okay, Mom, well, maybe Santa Claus will bring it, or maybe the Easter Bunny will bring it. So they're quite understanding, but they're not quite old enough to get into the high, costly things. Like, if they see a Barbie on TV that they want, I can go out and get them a cheaper Barbie, and they're just as happy right now. In the future, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I don't know what the future is going to hold.
One of the myths about poverty is that it's really defined in inner cities. And in fact, there's as many folks living in poverty outside metropolitan areas as there is inside. So we certainly see the issues of poverty here in Madison County and in rural communities across the United States. It's more invisible in the rural areas. In the inner cities, it's very apparent and it's very visible. But in rural communities, it's much more hidden.
I say, I know.
Lester and Doris have been married for nearly 40 years and live in rural Madison County. But it's been the last couple of years which have been extremely difficult for them. 5 years ago, Doris was diagnosed with lung cancer, and she's been given 6 months to live. In order to stay home and take care of her, Lester had to take an early retirement from his truck driving job with the local DPW. Together, they have a monthly income of about $1,000. Lester gets a pension of just over $650 a month. Doris receives barely $300 from Social Security. Because Lester is too young for Medicare and makes too much money from his pension for Medicaid, he has no health insurance. And while Doris does qualify for Medicaid, they still have to pay a lot of out-of-pocket money for her many prescriptions and medications. Now Lester can't get another job because that increase in income would take away Doris's Medicaid. For Lester and Doris, the twilight years of their retirement have quickly turned into an economic nightmare.
We're struggling through. I mean, we don't have any extra money to do anything with, or we can't even, we don't even have the money. Like if we want to order a pizza and have it delivered, the money's not there or nothing like that.
We can't pay all of our bills, much less
can't pay them.
Order any treat.
I can't pay my medical bills. You know, it's hard.
You can't go to the doctor. You don't.
I can't go to the doctor. I went to the doctor 2 or 3 times, but he's been good enough to let me pay, you know, what I can when I can, you know, and I owe him close to $200 now, so I don't feel like I can even go to the doctor when I get sick. I had to retire fall of '97 to take care of her because there was no program out there for someone to come in and take care of her while I worked, so I was forced to quit my job, retire early. I'm only 59, so the county tells me I'm too young, I can't get any help with my medical bills. They won't let me work to pay off my medical bills, so if I go to work, they'll take her benefits away from her. And her medical bills plus her oxygen machine, they run probably $1,000 a month.
I'm terminal. I've got a lung disease, I've got a heart problem, I've got ruptures, I've got hernias, I've got osteoporosis where bones fracture on me. I've got all sorts of medical problems. But I'm under hospice. Now they say I'm at the end stages of that lung disease. So they say 6 to 9 months. Now, of course, who knows? None of us know for sure when we're going to die. God doesn't tell us that. But if I died, it would solve the problem, because he could go back to work. But
don't want that either.
It's just hard, that's all. You help people all your life, and then when you need a little help, it's not there.
Come on, you're going to get your breathing worse. I'll go to work tomorrow. In fact, I was offered a job about 3 weeks ago, a heavy equipment operator, for a job that lasted probably 3 weeks. And they told me if I'd have took that job, they'd take her benefits away from her. When somebody is willing to work, let them work. Hey, I'm not going to make $1 million. I might make a few dollars extra a month to make ends meet. What harm is that? You know, I mean, why take her all her? Why make her suffer and take all her medical help away from her? Because I want to make a few bucks, not $1 million.
Doesn't seem very fair.
It isn't fair at all. Sometimes we eat the same thing 3 times a night, you know, because I have to prepare it that way. I have to do all the cooking, the laundry. I have to do everything now, because of course she can't do nothing. So when I prepare the meals, like we might have macaroni and cheese, I'll fix a pan big enough so we have it 3 nights. Then I'll make goulash, and we'll have that 2 or 3 nights. Well,
and if you have any left, you freeze it. I guess I'm lucky that we eat, that we have anything to eat. He's going to make macaroni salad tonight. That'll taste good. As we haven't had a salad this year, and we'll be able to get a few meals out of that.
She said when she wasn't around, at least I wouldn't start it. She taught me how to cook, so. Well, I probably got, I'd say a rough estimate, probably $10,000 worth of medical bills right now. Syracuse Hospital, Hamilton Hospital, the doctors, the labs.
Well, when I tell him he has to go to the doctor, he has to go. He says he can't because he can't pay anything, and I told him, well, sometimes you have to go whether you can pay or not. I said, they can't get blood out of a stone. I said, they're trying awful hard, but...
Some of her medicine that we have to pay, that's $76 a month.
For my share of it.
For her share.
That's just for pills, huh?
That's just for pills, yeah.
Yeah, you know, they say, well, it isn't so bad if you send $5 to this one and $5 to that one. But there's not enough $5 after you pay the bills with what income we have.
Never asked anybody for nothing.
No, never had to. But he didn't want to put me in a nursing home. He didn't want to stick me there. He said he'd never do that to me. So...
I get $667 a month, and she gets $301, and she has to pay out for some of her cost of her medicine out of that. So the time we pay our bills and get groceries, there's nothing there.
We don't have nothing.
There's nothing there. Like I'm saying, there's probably hundreds of thousands of people out here just like us in the same boat. And that's why they got to get some kind of program or something, get off their duffs and get some kind of program out for people like us to help us.
There's only one thing that will help you, put you back to work.
Yeah, but I can't. They'll take all your stuff away from me.
If I was to die.
Well, I don't want to hear that.
We're finding the need is growing, that although this is a booming economy across the United States, that there seems to be a divergent class of richer people and poorer people, and we're finding more and more people are forced to come to get food assistance.
Come on, Dre, throw some strikes up in there now. Throw some strikes.
It's only her second game as coach for
Let
this
him hit.
Little League team, and already Tara has quickly learned the ropes.
It's okay. It's a game. It's a game, man. Don't worry about it. Everybody makes mistakes. The ball get past you. Don't worry about it.
But challenges like this are nothing new to this mother of three. Every day she deals with the struggles of raising her boys while holding down a full-time job. A one-time drug addict, Tara now has steady work at the Radisson Hotel in Syracuse as a housekeeper. But after taxes, Tara brings home just under $200 a week. And although she receives some public assistance, with 3 growing and active boys, it's very difficult making that money stretch.
Working full-time job, taking care of 3 kids, gotta cook, gotta clean, gotta pay the bills. It's hard. It's hard to do it by yourself, but I'm doing it, but it's hard. It's very stressful. You get frustrated a lot. You may cry a lot sometimes too, but you go on because ain't nobody gonna else do it for you but you, so you gotta do it.
Can we have carrots?
Carrots. Chris, what kind of vegetable you want? I got rent. I got food, clothing, telephone, cable, life insurance. Rent way? Yeah, I rent. And that's basically it. Just them, but that one's not hot. One dad, you don't know where he at. My oldest son dad don't know where he at. Don't even know if he's still living. My middle son, his dad live in Virginia, you know. He sends stuff when he can. You know, I don't expect it though, because it hasn't been done for so long, so I don't expect it. His dad just came back in town a couple of days ago, you know. He was gone for a pretty good while. All my kids got different fathers. Every last one of them. I'm not ashamed to say it. Yeah, it's hard, you know. Once in a blue moon, they dad didn't want to send them something, you know. I can't wait on them because if I wait on them, it'll never get done. You know, so they're not the type where you can call and say, well, he needs such and such, and then it'll be there the next couple of days. No. Try months, years, you know. It's like when I'm by myself, that's when it all comes down. But as long as I'm around my kids and doing something, I don't think about it. But once I get by myself, it all comes down, you know? Well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's like, boy, I tell you, I'm not going to never, you know, do no better, you know, stuff like that. But I have progressed a lot since I've been in Syracuse, a whole lot. Yeah, I do wish I made more money, but, you know, if I got a job, I'm going to stay where I'm at, you know? I'm tired of switching over now. So I'm happy I'm going to stay there for as long as I can, you know. If something come better and I can get it, then I'll go for it, you know. But other than that, I'll do what I have to do with the job that I have.
Used to be we'd see a lot of single moms with little kids who were beneath the poverty level. Now we're seeing less of that type of person and more of middle-class two-parent families who have, for one reason or another, somebody loses a job and then they're really in a bind because they've counted on those 2 incomes. So we see many more families like that now. We're seeing single dads now that we never used to see, single dads with custody of 3, 4, 5 kids. So it's a changing demographic.
Have you decided on anything yet? You need a few minutes.
A few minutes.
All right.
The noontime rush here at Denny's doesn't bother Kathy. That's because she knows the busier it is, the more money she'll get in tips. And as a waitress making about $10,000 a year, every little bit helps.
Coming through.
How'd you do?
$78 and some change.
Not bad. Bad.
Yeah.
It's a typical. Actually, you did better today than you did last Monday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't fight.
Yet despite having to raise their kids without a lot of money, Kathy and her husband Joe always try to keep a positive outlook on their difficult situation.
I've been a waitress most of my life. I've probably done almost every job known to man. Bartending, waitressing. I was a tenant farmer. I picked oranges, little bit of everything.
I'm a house husband. It's the easiest way to put it. I take care of the house and the kids in the morning and shoo them out and clean up and put it all back together again for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And till I got back problems and knee problems, and we're working on trying to get that all straightened out, and then hopefully I can get back into the workforce.
I'm going to take on a second job pretty soon.
If I can't go back to work.
Yeah.
I got a cancellation notice here. And I shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have did this.
Look at the button. Look.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, cool.
The payment went in on 6/7/99. 135.14. And
Do I have any? Those aren't.
the cancellation notice was postmarked on the 14th.
Can you put them in a bowl so I can?
Yeah. That I can do. The money does not stretch
far enough
for the bills to be made. We've just had to buy a new car, and
For that, we lost our food stamps.
yeah.
Because, well, we told them we needed a new car. Our mechanic advised us. They said, go ahead and get one. So we did. They didn't tell us we only had a certain limit we could spend to get one.
Yeah. And I finally found someone that would accept our credit and finance us and everything. And it's really going to be rough now because we lost quite a bit in food stamps. And
But we'll make it. We always do. We're survivors.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a will, there's a way. And we always find a way. Because we're too willing. Huh, babe?
Yeah. My average take home in tips a day is probably about $35. I probably need $60 to $70 a day, and that we're just not seeing. There's days when you make well over that, but on the average, it's not averaging out right
And there's
now.
days you make well under it.
Yeah.
$7 comes to mind.
Yeah. Last week, one day, I made only $7. You just sort of do what you have to do. There's been months that we lived on sandwiches.
Goulash.
Yeah, lots of goulash.
Hot
We
dogs.
try to keep like dinner for the 7 of us at $6 or less, including the meat. That's what I try to do every night. And most every night, like tonight, I'm cooking a whole bunch of ribs on the grill. That'll go for 3 meals. It has
just
to.
About, just about.
Yeah.
It'll feed us tonight, and then I'll whip up something with it for tomorrow.
The boat's over there. It always comes out when supper's gonna be dark. Let's see,
Not always.
yeah.
No.
Did
that?
And the kids, they get pretty, especially the 2 9 and the 6-year-old. They would like to play sports and stuff in the summer, and it's not something we can do. Everything costs money, so we try and appease them a little here, and we play in the backyard or go right down here to the park and play. But
We're over to a school.
yeah, you have to work with what you have. You can't pull rabbits out of a hat. There's been quite a few nights when I sat in the bedroom and cried over just, oh my God, how are we going to pay this? How are we going to pay that?
Have faith.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Pray to the Lord. He usually provides somehow, some way.
Yeah.
He provides.
That's true.
As we move into welfare to work, that the welfare reform should do more to encourage people to continue their education, that education and training should be part of the whole process of moving people off of welfare. There is some of that, but there's a lot more that can be done in helping people become more self-sufficient.
What's the reason we're making a telephone call in the first place?
When may I come in for an interview?
That's right. So the reason that you're making that telephone call is to get what?
An interview.
There you go.
Here at the Sidney Johnson Vocational Center in Syracuse, Dawn is learning the basics to finding a job. She's making the transition from welfare to work, and classes like this help give her the skills and confidence to enter the workplace in the food service industry. She takes these classes in the morning and then works at a local soup kitchen in the afternoon as part of her training. Although Dawn is on the road to full-time employment, the journey is difficult for her and her 3 children.
They're more helping with like moral support and learning how to fill out applications and interviewing skills, learning how to deal with the interviews. We're all giving each other support on, getting people geared up to, go find that job, don't just sit in a slump, or, you need to get up and do this or do what you need to do to find a job. So it's always somebody around to get you more active than just sitting around and not doing anything,
It's quite a successful program. About 70% of our adults find and maintain employment. The common barrier, though, the common thread is that most, if not all, are low income.
The absolute best way to ensure and protect people against being in the working poor is to provide them with a strong educational foundation.
We want to tell them, what's that say there?
I am interested in a position as.
And what's the position you're interested in?
Food preparation.
There you go.
I don't know if I'll find a job that'll help me pay all my bills, but, if I can get something part-time for now to help me out, to have a little bit more income in, then, that'd be great.
Today, Lori has an appointment at the WIC Clinic. Part of the county's health department, the program provides money to help buy supplemental foods such as milk, cheese, and juice for people with young children. WIC also provides counseling on a number of issues, including proper nutrition.
Good morning. How are you? Today we're going to be going over the children's nutrition, and you'll be receiving your WIC checks.
And as you can see on the Children's Food Guide Pyramid, they should be having 2 protein servings every day and 4 servings from the dairy foods, and they're doing great. Looking at their intake of the grains and the fruits and vegetables, this is an area that we all need to improve on. How are the children eating at home?
Pretty good. They eat pretty good meals. Sometimes he once in a while picks.
Oh, okay. That's pretty common. Provide some nutritious snacks between meals for him. Nutritious snacks can help balance out the nutrition for the day, and some good nutritious snacks for them might include some cheese and crackers or yogurt.
We have working parents, we have parents who are students, we have parents who are at a point in their life where they need temporary assistance.
Well, I get daycare assistants and babysitting assistants. They get their little benefit money. Well, it's not really benefit money. It's more like the CAPS a CAPS program, so they get money from there. But it's still hard, because every dime I get from them, it goes on something every dime. So, and sometimes I have to add on, and that makes it even harder if I got to add on, you know. So.
They pay $266 of my rent, and that's all I get. I get like 186, I think, in food stamps, and that's it. That's all I get for the month.
You didn't look at the price tag and say, well, I can't buy that because it costs too much. If you wanted it, you bought it, you know, because you were working. Things were fine, so you had what you wanted. And now today it's completely different. You're lucky if you get something you want once in a while. It's quite a treat now when you do. But
it's quite a slap in the face, I tell you. You never dream you're going to be in this position, but
the hardest part is making yourself believe it. Or it is to me.
yeah.
It was a real blow to the ego, applying for public assistance. That hurt. People treat you a little differently sometimes. I had a cashier once say, "Oh, you're paying with funny money," meaning food stamps. You know, little digs, or the older people don't appreciate, "Oh, we're supporting you and you're buying steak." You know, a woman said that to me one day. I was like, oh man. No.
That steak will serve 3 meals.
Oh yeah, well.
Very, very embarrassing. Even now, it is at times. Because you'll get somebody behind you who you know is of higher class, and they'll just, it appears that they look down their nose at you. I don't know though. At least I could say, I work, I provide for my kids, I need help, I'm sorry. That's all, you know. Without social services, I don't know where I would be right now.
These are your checks for today. These are for Cody and Michaela. These ready? Ready to go?
Yeah. We go to the store?
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta go to the store. It's huge. Can I help you? No. How's that? It's because he's too heavy for the front. That's what it is. And she's by herself, it's fine.
Right.
It's the holiday season for Steve and Lori, and unlike in the past, with the help of some very generous people, there are plenty of gifts under the tree this year.
We have a secret friend who helps us every month. She's given us gift cards for groceries. She's sent kids clothes. She's done a lot, and it's been really interesting. The different things, packages coming, and we don't even know her. We have no idea who she is. She sent us a $200 gift card for groceries, $200 in Walmart gift certificates for the kids for Christmas, and then as well as brought them presents on top of it. So we've really been, you know, blessed as far as getting things for the kids. Everything is so expensive, and especially with 4 children. Different age groups, they want different things. And we go into the store and we're like, we really want to get it for them, but we can't because it's so, you know, so high. And we try to make it even for the kids where we spend the same amount on each of them, but that's tough to do.
You know, there's no such thing as buying presents.
No.
Because there's no money to buy presents with, you know.
No. We just tell everybody, well, we give them an IOU, you know.
We wish them a Merry Christmas and give them an IOU.
IOU.
My sons are asking me if they can get this toy or this toy, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't have the money. We had to stretch our money to last us the month. So it's kind of hard.
That was a very emotional time for me. Got most of their toys from the dollar store, and just so happens that seemed to be their happiest Christmas. It didn't matter to them.
But Christmas is probably the scariest time for me.
Why is that? Very scary.
A couple of years ago, I went to the Salvation Army. I was fortunate enough to sign up for the giveaway presents at Christmas. Each kid got like 2 things.
They pretty much understand the situation, but it makes us feel kind of bad because we're doing the best we can do to help or try to get them what they want.
However, Christmas hasn't arrived without its hardships. Earlier in the month, Lori was in a car accident. She wasn't severely injured, but taking care of the kids is much more difficult now. And because of the crash, the family lost their only way of getting around.
The lady passed on the right-hand side facing me and broadside of the van, pushed us into a 4-foot ditch and back out. And I don't really remember too much after that, what happened. It was just like an instant, like what happened, that kind of thing. Right now, we have a lot of medical bills because of not having Medicaid and everything. We have like $6,000 just in medical bills. And they've called and we've made payment arrangements where we can make $10 or $15 a month, payments on those, which is making it a little easier because then we know it's still getting paid. Even though it's going to take a while, it's still getting paid. And with HEAP and, helping with electric and everything, it kind of eases off a little bit on, what money we have to kind of seek out every week. Steve has been offered salary instead of hourly as of January 1st. And they're going to offer him benefits, which is good because if he misses a day, he doesn't lose that pay. He's guaranteed. They're giving him paid holidays.
At times it's very tiring, very tiring. I average anywhere from 40 to 60 hours a week. I'm the only person that comes in and cleans full time. There was a time when I was making $20, $25 an hour, and I had nothing to show for it. You've heard the expression, a rich poor man. Well, that's kind of like here. I might not be wealthy with money or possessions, but I'm wealthy in many other ways.
I think there's a very strong commitment in this country that people who work full-time should not be poor. And I think that's why the notion of the working poor is so powerful an image.
Even though Kathy and Joe often struggle from month to month, they also help others in similar circumstances. Here in their garage, they take in donations of clothes from people to give to others in the community. And as you can see, the need is great.
People come in and take clothes. That's their job. They can shop here for free. In exchange, I ask that they donate non-perishable canned food that'll go to local food cupboard. And they can just come and donate clothes if they want to. They can take as much as they want. There's no limitations. I ask that anybody that takes anything from here does not resell it. They give it away. That's the whole purpose of it. People helped us out a lot in the past, and I want to give back, and this was like my ministry, I call it. I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, feed the hungry and clothe the people that need clothes. This year, working as much as I am, I can't be as available as I was last year, so I've told Department of Social Services that I am still open, TASA, Victims of Violence. There's people at work that I let know about it. If I hear of something in passing, one of the girls at work or something, I'll say, well, I have all this, and then I just tell them to come on down and go through it. And nobody can just run out and buy clothes anymore. I can't. We have 5 kids, and there's no way I could go. Even a pair of jeans is $35. So that's some days that's a whole day's tips. No. You let me do it. I've been doing it about 6 years, and every year I go, oh my God, I'm not going to do it another year, but I can't. I can't turn away from it. It means a lot to me. I'll just start a new shoe bag. Oh my gosh, look at those.
Not me.
I'd be 6 feet tall wearing
Yeah, close.
Sit down so your brother can say the prayer.
Summers are especially hard for Lori and Steve. Since there is no school, the kids are home all day, and that means more food is needed.
In the summertime, it's real hard for families because the kids are home all day, and it's not just that the families we see usually get the free lunch during the school year. It's not just that those families don't get that in the summer. It's that the kids are there all day eating.
The other thing that makes it more significant is that there's less assistance because it's not on people's minds. People tend to think about the need around holidays, which is, it's wonderful that people are thinking about it, but we want them to think about it all year round. You know, not just the times when they have a feast on their table, but every day when they have a feast on their table, to think about people.
Vacations are a luxury Lori and Steve simply can't afford. So along with the swing set, the couple decided to spend $100 on a small pool for their kids.
Had to do something for the kids to enjoy the summer, so this was the best thing.
But even the cool water doesn't take the heat off their financial pressures.
But this is the big thing as far as the problems go, is the finances. We're always arguing, well, we don't have the money for this, and we don't have the money, well, he wants this, and he wants that. I want things. But it's getting to the point where I told him we need to focus on these instead of everything else.
Puts a lot of stress on both of you.
And it's rubbing off on the kids. Yeah.
We got to get rid of some of these things on the telephone. This is ridiculous. $54 a month just in telephone bills.
This is what it should be.
That's all nickel and dimes. $1 here, $1.50 there,
Call waiting
$5 here.
Oh, they call Saturdays, they call after hours, they call all the time. And a lot of times, like, both of our names are on the bills, and a lot of times they won't talk to me. They have to talk to him. He's not home. He doesn't want to deal with them. He'll say, you handle it. So when I talk to them, they're like, well, we don't want to talk to you, want to talk to him. I'm like, well, he wants me to do this, and it ends up into one big mess. They send him notices, and then it causes friction between us too. What?
You get behind. You get behind a lot, but you can play catch up too. I played catch up plenty of times, and I caught up. But I'm behind a little bit right now, but I'll catch up. You know, as long as people know I'll pay it, then it's no problem. So some people are understanding and some are not.
Every time you get ahead, they pull you back 6 feet.
So that takes away from this one, say this one, and we're always doing that. We're always taking, money away from this one to pay on this, and then the other one's getting behind, and the interest is getting higher, and it just makes it more frustrating. Some days, there's days where I don't even like going to the mailbox, because I never know what I'm going to find.
So I can call her.
I'm going up to get the mail there. You'll be all right until I get back? Some days I get lucky and there's no bills in there. Well, this is one of the lucky days. Of course, I've already got them, so they ain't going to send them down until next week again. The ones that already have sent them. So I got to get back. Okay.
This is the type of business I'd like to be out of. There's no reason for food banks and food pantries and soup kitchens in the United States of America in the year 2000. I think if the political leaders had the will, they could end hunger in the United States tomorrow.
I've had it hard all my life. And to be honest with you, I don't think I wanted any different. I've had to work for everything I've gotten. And I'm proud of it, I haven't had nothing handed to me. I've had to work for it, and it makes me feel proud. It hurts, but you deal, you know. You deal.
I'd like to be self-sufficient the rest of my life. But I would rather live the way I live now than have $1 million, because it just, I mean, what's the old cliche? The more money you have, the more money you spend. And you sort of overlook the simple pleasures, you know, and I like it better this way.
It's hard. You just have to, you know, that lump, that's a big lump to get over, you know, as far as paying stuff on time and doing all that, that's a big lump. And whoever can do it by themselves and is on track and got kids, I'm going to be one of them too. I'm going to be right behind them.
I am providing for my kids. I can honestly say all my bills are paid. They're paid on time. Next month, I don't know, but this month we're doing good. It's a month-by-month basis.
Oh, I miss working because I worked hard all my life, and I really love my job up here in the town. I really loved that, and the guys I worked with, and boss was real great. I miss that. I still miss that.
To slap the golden years. As far as I'm concerned, they suck.
Well, I wouldn't.
That's not nice language, but it's the way I feel.
I wouldn't change anything, no.
No, not that
We'll
way.
make it with them or all them, I'll tell you.
We drink too much soda. Tonight, about $30.
Doesn't seem like a lot, does it?
No. There are weeks we have 100 to spend, but then there's bill weeks that you don't have a lot to spend. The bills come first.
Well, our basics like spaghetti sauces, cold meats, dish soap, laundry soap, that kind of stuff.
To be honest, I don't know how we make ends meet. Chicken thighs or chicken breasts, they're expensive. Chicken thighs. Oh, we have to avoid that aisle. That's the garbage food aisle, but it's good. Whatever is the cheapest. For how much, though?
This is 50 ounces.
That's for $1.99. What's the other one? For $2.49.
The other one is, this one's 4 pounds, and it's $2.49.
So how much do you have so far?
$27.42.
And you've got $30 to spend?
Well, we got 30 that we could actually spend, but there's 40 in the account, so we don't want to really wipe it out.
So what'd you get so far?
Not much. Not much. It doesn't take much. It goes quick. It's not cheap to feed a family.
You want the chunky garden style?
No. $30.96. Let's see how close we come. Probably nothing on Shoppers Club.
It's got Canada.
Huh?
It's got U.S.
You've exceeded your amount of usage, so I don't know if you've already used your debit card today. If you haven't
Yeah, we just deposited in it.
Yeah, probably if they're the bank on the next day business, then
They tell me there's any money for that.
No, give him, what's his name's money there? Jim's?
It's that exceeded amount.
Is that kind of embarrassing when that happens?
Oh, yeah.
It would have been more so if we didn't have the cash with us.
Yeah.
The cash is what I borrowed from someone else, so we had to give that back. And now we'll have to go to the bank and get it out of the bank to replace that.
not easy sometimes, is it?
No. No. The hardest part is borrowing money, and then, you know, when you don't have a lot, then trying to pay it back. And sometimes that becomes a hassle. You're better off not to borrow if you can. But there are times when, you know, I just have to borrow something to get me through to the next week. That is very embarrassing.
Major funding for When Ends Don't Meet has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting through the Eastern Educational Network and by the annual support of viewers like you.